Call me crazy, but I think Clan FaZe is a massive, disgusting grift. Welcome back. We gotta talk about the degeneracy that is being executed by Clan FaZe, their owners and the players, where they've all decided to go ahead and publicly list their stock on the stock exchange, raise money from a bunch of clueless investors, and then pay themselves massive salaries. In a typical business, businesses make money and they have expenses and they hopefully have a profit left over. Is that the case with FaZe? No, they actually make some money, but they spend way more money on all sorts of things, and they have massive losses on the bottom line. Now, think about this from a very simple perspective. If a business is losing money all the time, how does it survive? Oh, it doesn't. It goes bankrupt. But what if there was a way where people would just give you cash? They would just give you cash. And even if you weren't a partial owner in the business, if you were an employee of the business or you were a contractor in the business, a creator, you could still perpetually pay yourself because of non-stop cash flooding in. Oh, there's a way you can actually do that. You can get publicly listed. You can be traded on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. And people will hopefully buy your stock. And with the money that you get from issuing stock, you can pay yourself a nice salary. And eventually, okay, maybe the gig dries up, but for a decent amount of time, you've paid yourself handsomely. Now, am I accusing all of these dudes on this screen right here of having this, horrible plot to basically fleece a bunch of retail investors and live off the proceeds of being a publicly traded company? No, I don't think so. But I'm going to show you exactly how this all works, okay? So this stock, FaZe, these e-gamers, were roasted by Moist Critical, the most high-energy, charismatic, large-scale YouTubers I've ever seen. Because they hired Snoop Dogg and LeBron James' son. Hey, it's just, that'll fix our massively unprofitable company. Just hire Snoop Dogg, bro. That's all you gotta do. Okay. Now, typically, most companies, when you invest in them, you want the stock to go up. You want it to go up, right? You want to make money. You want to maybe collect a dividend if you're a dividend shill. Investing's all about making money. If you had bought FaZe after they went public, and they went public very recently via a SPAC merger, it looks like it was around late July 2022, you would have lost 95% of your initial investment. Why? Why did this stock massively collapse? And why did it collapse so quickly? Well, as a CPA who knows how to read a very simple income statement, I can tell you exactly why. And it's actually very, very simple, okay? This is a massively unprofitable business that is not sustainable, that loses money hand over fist. Now, I was skimming their recent announcements, okay? They have these Forms 8K that they put out whenever there's some kind of material event. And we can see that the company is going through some massive changes. So here's a letter from one of the executives to all the employees. And they publish this with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And we can see here that they are going ahead and firing a bunch of people. Over the last few days, we've let go a number of our talented friends and team members. Why are they doing that? I don't know. Because they're losing money, okay? So they're currently firing a bunch of people because they're losing so much money. And the only thing they have to brag about is that they have revenue growth. But from a very simple business perspective, ladies and gentlemen, if you only have revenue by revenue growth, but you don't make any money, you can make $1 trillion in revenue. But if you spend $2 trillion, you're still losing money and you still eventually go bankrupt. This is not communism, okay? So there's some big changes coming up in this company. They're firing employees because, in my opinion, they want to keep the payment grift going on as long as possible. If you go look at their most recent quarterly report, so they're going to release their next report on March 30th, 2023. And I'm very curious to look at it. We at least have the quarterly report ended September 30th, 2022. And if we go down and look at the financial statements, we can quickly see what the problem is. Here is FaZe, Clan FaZe's profit and loss. And I did a little bit of digging around, okay? In the 3 months ended September 30th, 2022, they had $14 million of revenue, Pretty good, right? They had 10 million of cost of revenues, which is mostly the gamer salaries. That's where they're allocating the salaries of the stars, the gamers, which I don't watch personally. I don't give a crap. I don't have time to watch games. I'm a father of 2 children. I gotta freaking work, support these little rats. Okay, so that's the salaries of the gamers, and they have a gross profit of 3.5 million. That's pretty good, right? But they have a massive general and administrative expenses. This is all the other expenses of the company except for interest and taxes. So probably the CEO salary, probably all the admin support staff, all the whatever they're doing to promote this company and keep this company operational. They're losing money. They're spending massive amounts of money. They're paying the creators less than they're paying all the other admin expenses. Pretty freaking nuts. Their loss from operations is $14.8 million in 3 months. 3 freaking months. That's right. That is absolutely insane. That is such a massive loss that their loss was greater than their revenue. And what do you think? Who do you think is getting paid? Is the investor getting paid? Well, of course not. Look at the stock. It just collapsed. Look at it's a penny stock, 42 cents. Who's getting paid? Well, the guys that play the games. They still continue to draw whatever they're drawing, either a salary or some kind of contract agreement. They're getting paid. The executives and all the staff are getting paid, at least the ones that didn't get fired. And everybody else is getting screwed. You see how this works? I wish I could just start a company that was massively unprofitable. And I go to the stock exchange. I say, hey, can you list my company? And just tell investors it's the future and it's amazing and cool and it's disruptive. And then they're like, oh, yeah, sure. You know, we can make some like fees, you know, when we list your stock. And then your stock gets publicly traded and you say, you know what? Or I say, you know what? I'm going to pay myself $100,000 a month salary from my business because why not? Because the investors will just continue to give me cash while I lose freaking money hand over fist. They don't make any money, but I get to draw a salary. Isn't that a great deal? All of these companies that lose money, they want to get publicly listed, okay? And they'll say whatever they got to say to keep the game going on. But at the end of the day, they're just paying themselves a salary. Now, is this a scam organization? No, I don't think it's a scam. It's obviously, I think it's a legitimate business. They provide entertainment. But you got to ask from an investor's perspective, which is what you should be thinking about if you want to buy this company. Are the owners of the company, are the contractors, are all the e-gamers working for my best interest? Are their incentives aligned with my best interest? And personally, looking at the massive loss from operations, I don't think it is. Okay, so this is a pretty good indicator of how massively unprofitable the company is. They had a loss on debt extinguishment. This may have had something to do with the SPAC merger. They have this massive loss here, but this is probably a one-time charge, okay? This change in fair value of warrant liabilities, this is going to fluctuate with the stock price. This is probably going to show as a more of a gain on the next report that comes out because the stock has just collapsed so absolutely badly, okay? Now, we go down and we look at the statement of cash flows, which is another pretty important financial statement. For the 9 months ended September 30th, they've burned $48 million of cash. $48 million of cash has been absolutely incinerated with this company. Well, where are they going to get that cash from? Well, as of 6 months ago, how much cash do they have on their balance sheet? $43 million. And they had $18 million of receivables, contract assets, not sure exactly what that is. But I can guarantee you, they've absolutely incinerated most of this cash. So there's a massive dilution event coming up very shortly. Or if it already has happened, I've missed it in the news. I wouldn't be surprised. This company is in serious freaking trouble, okay? They're going to keep diluting. They're going to keep issuing shares. And I'm curious, has the president or the CEO or any of the players actually taken pay cuts to keep the company alive? Or are they just trying to drag this out as long as possible while they continue to pay themselves vast sums of money until the whole thing collapses around them? I don't know. We'll see. What are your thoughts?